that, we cut to demolitions and tech. Malcolm and Gavin are kind of talking to each other next to the pool as Zed shows up. And Gavin just goes, "Oh, hey! Rawr!" Malcolm's just like, all right, nice, great to see you, Zed. You last time you got to use one of these, you were using the animal agents. How'd you like it?
I mean, it was interesting. I'd be interested to see if there's other things that perhaps I could use some skills towards, but if not, I mean, I would like to know how they work a bit better if I am to use them again.
Oh, sure. I mean, usually anybody who decides that they want to use an animal agent gets like a specific one assigned to them. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like having a little bit of a pet if you want. But we have other things that we can play with here too. We don't necessarily have to play with the animal agents. We have drones as well, and those can do various different things. And we also have just if you'd like to get into the water, we have things that are like tech based that you can do down there. Like the new scuba suits are an option, or we have what's it called? Let me see really quick. There's also just flat out demolition things like depth charges and underwater mines and proximity mines and stuff like that. Is there any of those that piqued your interest at all?
I mean, drones do sound interesting.
All right. Yeah, if you want to play with the drone, we could get you set up with one of those. I think tonight we aren't, or today we aren't. I don't like to do what Madison and Mac do usually. I like to just kind of let people experiment with the tech. I don't like to do a competition or anything like that. I just kind of find that.
I find that people don't really think like learning under pressure is not exactly the healthiest way to.
Yeah, I feel
kind
like
of throw people in there.
A lot of people on Team 11 maybe just listen to John Neptune a little bit too hard, or like maybe they just, they watched one too many war movies and they think everything's got to be just a war. It doesn't make much sense for learning science. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree.
You see Gavin, he's looking at the water. He's like, yeah, war. It's whatever. And then you see a shark jump out of the water. He's like, cool. But yeah, I mean, or again, animal agents, they come in all a variety of shapes and sizes. If maybe a dolphin wasn't to your liking, we can try a different marine animal, or up to you.
What options are there?
In all honesty, what options are you interested in? He kind of like OTech has a lot of things it's been playing with. Let's put it this way. What size are you thinking of? You want something small and covert, or large and beefy?
I am more of the smaller and slippery, kind of gets in and out. That does appeal to me a little bit more than that shark is very impressive.
The shark jumps out of the water.
Do not get me wrong.
I got a hangover. The shark just kind of like doesn't know what to do with that hangover. He's like, okay, well, I mean, we got sea otters. Those are more of the. They can't hold as much. Clearly, they can't hold like a grenade launcher like a dolphin or a shark can. But if you want something a bit more covert or sneaky, those are really great options. What's also nice about sea otters is that they don't need as many. He kind of goes.
They
off
have fingers and they can do things with.
They can just hold things. Yeah, they don't need to. They don't need to actually have anything attached to them with cyberware.
I think I actually will go with that one.
Oh, okay. You want a sea otter? They can also go on land too. And I know you said something about not liking the water terribly.
You are very astute. Yes.
So he kind of walks off to a different room, and Gavin kind of turns around.
I look at Gavin, I'm just like, I have not seen an otter in real life. Listen.
I mean, to be fair,
that is super ecstatic.
To be fair, he turns around and stops looking at the pool. The shark's just kind of doing laps now. He's like, to be fair, none of the animals are real, like, animals, because, I mean, real animals are almost impossible
Gavin,
to come by.
do not destroy this moment for me.
I'm just saying they're tech animals.
But the last legitimate animal that I have seen and spent a large amount of time with is a duck, and let me tell you, a duck and an otter are not the same thing.
What, like a real duck? Where'd you see a real duck? Whatever. It's not a shark. Shark jumps out of the water again.
Zed just kind of looks off into space. There's a thought bubble like, is Rick a real duck?
A lot of questions about Rick. Rick might be an animal agent. You don't know. I don't know. It's really kind of up to Tom to improv bullshit on the spot. Rick is whatever he wants him to be.
Rick is going to turn up to be like the MacGuffin that we need at the very end.
Yeah.
It was inside Rick the whole time. Rick had the codes.
He's got a nuke. Turns out Rick was a nuke the whole time. But after a bit, you see Malcolm return to the poolside. He's got like a little kind of like a cat carrier, and it's kind of jostling around a little bit, and he kind of puts it down on the pool deck, opens the door, and this little otter kind of like crawls into his hands. And it just kind of looks at you and it smiles.
What color is the otter?
It's like a brownish kind of thing with like a kind of white stripes going down from its eyes, like along its sides kind of thing. And it's a sea otter specifically, not like a river otter.
It's a big otter.
Yeah. And they're like, I guess you could say flatter, not as tube. as like a, the kinds that hold sea urchins and go like this. Yeah. Except now imagine a depth charge.
Yeah. Well, they're big. They're like
yeah, they're bigger than they look in pictures.
Yeah.
And this one's actually a little bit bigger than probably a real one would be anyway, because again, it's a tech animal, but it also needs to be able to like have more things on it and stuff. He's just like, okay, yeah, these little guys, nobody really seems to go for these. Everybody seems to go for the sharks, and Kevin's just like, everybody goes for the sharks.
If Zed could have heart eyes, they would. they would.
He's like, you want to hold him?
They just reach for it. They just reach for it.
And
I hold it. Oh yeah, I hold it like this.
Yeah, it like kind of squirms a little bit, and then it just lays on its back. Yeah.
Okay, well I hold it like a baby then. Like.
You want to name it?
I feel like that is a big responsibility, and I will do so when the time strikes me.
Sure, you can register its name in the app.
Okay.
So emotional. All right, well, I guess we can, again, I don't like to run competitions for training or anything like that, but we can try. I can give you a little bit of a scenario, I guess, for how you can use a sea otter as an animal agent.
Yes, please. Something, anything more than what was given to me the other day would be exceptionally helpful.
All right, first let's suit up your otter. How's that sound? We've already suited up the shark. The shark jumps out of the water. So the thing about animal agents, this, again, I was maybe a bit panicked and made it up on the spot the night before, but the way animal agents work is it's not like they're just cyberware. They're actually like kind of equipped with stuff. Like they have belts on them. They have like fish net on them. It's like almost like a chainmail fishnet kind of thing. To like make it so that certain like harpoons and stuff can't really get into them or anything like that. So imagine like an animal almost wearing combat gear, but also has like those kind of lines for cyberware and everything like that all of them. So they can link up with certain things as well, and they're also like have a wireless link to whoever is using them. And the sea otter, how does this sea otter look when you gear it up? Dreams do come true.
Okay. Well, okay. I imagine it doesn't necessarily need them, but there's like these little goggles that are definitely decorative. They're definitely not actual goggles. They're made out of leather. They don't do anything as far as like helping to see, but they're just on. They're just a strap. They're just strapped. They're just strapped on.
They do actually help because again, the ocean is kind of fucked.
They're real then.
So he
They're
actually
real.
does need the goggles. Yeah.
Oh my god, no, you know what it is? It's like those old-time leather aviator caps with the goggles. That's what's on. That's what it is.
And
it's
he
just
knows
buckles
how to use
underneath.
them too.
Yeah, you got hands, you can just probably like it's got a long body, so probably like a double harness situation that's connected together, like two loopies that's got like hooks on them if they need like to carry little tiny things.
I would say they're probably more like magnets.
Yeah. And I think it's got like oh god. I want there to be something on its belly, but I don't know what. Like
I want to say probably a magnet patch.
Okay.
So then you can put like a depth charge on it and it can swim, but then turn over and
yes!
just kind of like flick it off of
yes.
its chest when
yes. Or if I need it to, it can stick onto the submarines.
Yeah. Oh my god. So that's more of a cyberware that's kind of built. It's almost like a little Tony Stark patch on its chest that's like a magnet. Yeah. And Malcolm just kind of leans in and is just like, do you want to see something stupid and cool that I've been playing around with?
I mean, I just point down at the otter. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, take this chip and install it really quick. I'll keep the surprise for you.
I put it in my head.
Okay, now give him a command.
And anything?
Oh yeah, tell him to get into the pool. How about that? We'll start with that.
All right.
Otter's just kind of looking at you.
Want to hop in for a swim? And I'll point to the water.
So it does it, but instead of a green dot, which is what you saw when you were playing with the dolphin, that remember it just kind of came up whenever you talked to it,
right.
Which apparently was a thing to say that it has registered your command. Mm-hmm. It was like a little confirmation that your command has been received. Mm-hmm. But the first time you said all you said was hello to it. So it's like, yeah, I registered it, but like I didn't. It doesn't know how to really do anything with that information. Right. But like, so when you tell it to get into the pool, it just goes, okay. And it shows a little okay, like graphic pop up in the thing. Everybody gets a kick out of that. Malcolm just kind of stands back. I'm so happy I did this. I'm very proud of myself. Now, don't get too excited. The thing isn't going to talk to you. It's just going to say okay in a really cute voice every single time it registers a command. But it's still pretty cool, isn't it?
I would keep working on that. That would be a really great innovation for the future.
Well, it knows it can respond with certain things. Like if it can't do a certain thing, it will tell you instead of it being a red dot. I've basically replaced every command token with a different registration that feels
a bit more a little personable.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And then you see John Neptune open the door to the pool, and it's like, oh, is this demolitions and tech day, huh? And Malcolm's just like, I really wish you'd just call it engineering. Just like playing with your, what do you got there, Missy? Little lass?
I'll just
kind otter.
Yeah, I'll like kind of just call it over. Just kind of like. Yeah. Yeah, it just like slides on its tummy.
Fine animal. It's a fine animal agent you got there. And I see you, Gavin, you've picked the shark again. And then Gavin's just kind of really focused. He's like, yeah. The shark just is doing all this like really cool shit in the water because it's a shark and literally anything it does is the coolest shit you've ever seen.
It's a shark and can't do anything else.
I too have an animal agent, but I like to call into battle sometime. I'm sure you'll get to meet her sometime. You gotta love the ocean. Love the ocean and its bounties.
What pray tell animal do you call as your partner?
Oh, that's a fun one, isn't it? I think I'll just leave it for you to find out someday. And he kind of like puts his hands on his hips. He's like, but she's a fine beast, she is for sure.
I lean over to Gavin and very, very quietly say, I do hope it is a goldfish.
Malcolm kind of leans over to ruin everything. It's an orca. John Neptune literally looks pissed at it. Well, you didn't even notice. He's just thinking about it. She's like, yes, fine beast she is. Well, I leave you to it. Do a good job with these ones. And he kind of like offhandedly gives Malcolm a little bit of a command and just goes, this one's gonna need it. Still seeming a bit grumpy about your performance in the war game. And he kind of walks off to the same corridor that Kells and Micah went off to go to the submarine submersibles on the in the Bay Area.
I just kind of look back and say, what was that about?
John Neptune is he's just hard to please. He's a big hard ass. I mean, the guy is. I mean, don't tell anybody I told you this, but the guy likes to act like he's the king of the ocean or something. And maybe he actually has a little bit of cyber psychosis.
He's a little bit. I agree with that last. I think that last statement might be a little bit true. Did you know he did try to drown us?
Oh yeah, I think I heard something about that. That shouldn't.
Again, type of training, not exactly the best to like.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't agree with it, and especially with my condition, I can't get in the water, and who knows? I'm not the only one who has an allergy to the chemicals that are in the ocean. So it's like,
I would be surprised if you find anyone who is not allergic to something that's in that water there.
Exactly. It's
have you seen it?
Irresponsible to say the least. But yeah, he's really big on his animal agent, and you know, as you'd think. Fucking Aquaman would be, and he just kind of chuckles a little bit. But yeah, let's run your otter through a little bit of a situation. How's that sound?
All right.
Alrighty. And then from there, he basically kind of shows you little covert things you can do with your otter, which are things like it actually does have the ability to net run a little bit. You can't net run, so you can't see what it does. But it can, like, it does have, like, a way to kind of jack into ports and do a little bit of simple algorithms and stuff like that to maybe just, like, launch something underwater, but not necessarily, like, rewrite or anything or something like that.
Right. Turn a switch on.
Pretty much, yeah. It can do very, 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 very baseline simple net running. But it can also, again, put bombs on its chest and launch them out of the water. It can go out of the water to go back into the water, stuff like that. Like, very, very covert things as opposed to very aggressive things, which is what Gavin does. Gavin is all about destroying things with his gigantic shark. He shoots, like, he's got like a grenade launcher thing attached to it and 2 machine guns on the sides of it. And even he uses the whole shark, as Malcolm teaches him to use, because there's some dummies in the water that he just mangles with, like, the shark's, like, just using the shark's natural teeth. Like, it's still a shark. It can use that part of itself. It doesn't have to all be cyber. But yeah, no, so
cyber teeth.
You both have just like a nice pleasant day of
learning the tech.
Yeah, exactly. None of you have to go to a competition or anything like that. Then around the sun is vaguely starting to set, so the lighting in the pool room is a little bit orange. JSON, you are called for your net running session with Orlin. And when you get there, you notice the pool just seems extremely empty in comparison to the day of the war game. Orlin is the only one there. There's no other cadet that he is teaching. He's just like busy texting on his phone when he sees you get in there. His eyes light up and he's like, Jason, how's it going?
Hey, my early?
Nope, you're it. Not a lot of people net running in the ocean. It's terrifying. It's the worst. But
I don't know why I'm here.
I realized something that was pretty cool. I noticed your TV skin, and I could teach you some pretty cool things you could do with that underwater to cloak you even more, which is pretty sweet, isn't it?
Is it like make it look like water?
Pretty much. It's like, how about suit up? We gotta issue at least a rebreather. very adept, I saw, at figuring out the land-based options for net running, but we do gotta at least expose you. I know you don't want to touch the fucking stuff, but you gotta get in the water at least at some point, because you're probably not gonna have any choice sometime. I don't know. It's ocean warfare.
How effective is the doggy paddle in ocean warfare?
Oh, you don't know how to swim?
No.
Here, hold on a second. His eyes kind of light up, and you see like a bar show up on. He's hacking you, essentially. And you see like a bar kind of like load on your screen, and suddenly you just kind of like have a baseline knowledge of how to swim.
I know kung fu.
Pretty much, it's like that. However, you aren't an expert in it. You just have the knowledge. It's not like you're just like can do it all of a sudden, but it's not a complete mystery to you anymore. It's like, you get your rebreather on. We're gonna just chill underwater for a little bit and just kind of chat and maybe jack into a port, see what you can, all the things you can do underwater with that shit, and yeah, let's go from there. How's that sound?
Terrifying.
I can get you scuba suit as well, so then you can have a little bit more maneuverability that isn't completely reliant on the knowledge I just uploaded.
Yeah, anything that helps.
All right, you want the floaties. He kind of like walks over to a box, pops it open. He's like, here, put this on. It just slides over your suit. It's fine. Well, you're probably going to have to
shake dust off of it.
No. Yeah, nobody's needed it.
All right, I'll suit up and I'll like kind of like slowly like wade into the water.
That's the spirit. He gets he's kind of like wading in the water already for you. He's already setting up a couple of things. You can see like bars loading on your screen and everything like that. It's like, I'm uploading like a training segment for you. Think of it as like you ever have a sub in school? It's like a video.
Like a sandwich?
Sure. He's like, just follow me. And he kind of dives under the water.
All right, I'll make my attempt to follow.
Roll cool.
Go ahead. All right. 15.
Nice. Okay. So you're scared and it's a bit obvious, but you take it well, and you do actually manage to swim to where he's leading you. He's leading you.
I was honestly hoping to fail that roll.
He leads you to like and again, it's hard to see because of all the chemicals they pumped into the water to simulate the ocean. But he leads you to like a like kind of this port. He's like, you ever see one of these? And you're underwater now, just kind of chatting between rebreather kind of noises and stuff like that, but it's very quiet except for the bubbles in the ocean.
This is like a normal port.
Yeah, this port, a lot of buildings that face the ocean have them. It's essentially a biomonitor for the outside of the building. It's to regulate ocean currents, so then that way if they get sucked into the building's plumbing, they don't damage anything in the building. So it regulates the environment inside of the building as well as what's being sucked into and out of the ocean. You can do a lot of stuff with one of these ports because they left a lot of back-end shit open for these things. He kind of takes like a thing out of his neck and jacks into it. He's like, here's another port on here. This is the teacher jack and the student jack, so get in there.
Yeah, I'll plug right in. And...
Yeah, so what you see is environmental options. He's like, you ever write code when you're hacking?
So, sometimes on the fly for little things.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a little bit like that. There's a lot of things you can do with this underwater jack here. And he's, why don't I just let you experiment a little bit? Say this building, now this is a test jack, so obviously this isn't going to do anything, but it will simulate things you can do. Say your friends are trying to get into, he puts on like a fake military voice. Is like, your friends are trying to get into a building and they have no access points around. What do you do?
So like, there's ways to flood water in, and they can.
That's the thing
kind
you
of be
can do.
Sucked in. Yeah. So yeah, I would at least try to open floodways to get them in.
That's a good plan. That's an excellent plan. That's the plan. That's usually the plan that everybody who hasn't done this has come up with. And he just kind of chuckles a little bit. He's like, all right, write me that code. So I want you to roll me pick lock.
16.
So you managed to see like essentially like an OK symbol pop up. It's like, yeah, that means that you passed this test and that code would have worked on a model just like this. So there you go. You could do things like that. Now let's say, what's another example we can give? And he just kind of like bubbles come out of him and stuff like that. How's the water feeling, by the way? You still scared of it or getting used to it?
Yeah, this is terrifying. No one should be here.
Fear never really goes away. It's the ocean is fucking terrifying. I mean, I think you saw the shark agents the other day. You don't know if one of those is going to fucking bite you in the ass while you're trying to write a code to open up the air ducts or some shit. It's terrifying. But how you feeling as far as this whole thing goes? Like being contracted into OTEC to fight a war for some corpo.
I mean, I still... Are we fighting a war? Are we just defending buildings? What?
Well, I mean, this knowledge could let you fight a war. For now, it sounds like you're just going to be, what is it? You see another bar load up on your screen. He's like, okay, you get beacon crew, apparently. You're set to guard Nautilus base. This sounds like a walk in the park. It's not going to be anything.
What is Nautilus base?
It's just a submarine base that OTEC has. They rent it out for party. Well, they used to until the IHAG thing started, but yeah, they rent it out to places. It sounds like it's gonna be really easy. It's really, really low priority for anybody, so you'll be fine, I'm sure.
And how many back doors and ports like this are there around there?
Yeah, that's an ocean platform, so the damn thing is riddled with them. Cool. Good thing you bring that up, because rival netrunners can use that against you, but you can block stuff like that from the surface. So you don't have to get into the ocean to stop the ocean dwellers. Like, you can do what you did yesterday, and the only problem is it's hard to tell where they are, so unless if you can find a port on land that gives you a sonar ability, then maybe you can do it. But even netrunners have ways around that, as you know. Speaking of which, I can tell you some stuff that you could do on your end to kind of block things. Let's do this, for instance. And in the jack that's on the wall, you see something come up, and then the entire, like, you see a sonar kind of pop up in your vision that kind of like goes in a wave around him. He's like, so a sonar is going off right now, and it is revealing yours and mine's location. However, you see him in a second, and for a moment, the sonar, it like kind of goes over him like this, and then it goes up for a second, and then it just disappears, and he doesn't have it on him anymore. It's like, you can do things to stop that from happening. Essentially relaying a reverse fake sonar over yourself. Do you know how to do that?
No, I've never been in water.
Okay, well, that's a bit harder to teach, because it's however your cyber deck is set up, you're able to do it on your own. But that is a thing you could do. Again, you also have that neat TV skin. Why don't you give that a shot right now?
All right, yeah, I'll throw kind of like just blue, like the bluish tint of water, and kind of make it look like, everything around me.
Shit, that's way better than I thought it was. You look great. I can't see you at all. Like, I can see your hair, and that's about it. You could relay it onto your scuba suit too if you have one. Those have the ability to kind of have. We can get you one that has a TV skin link onto it. That's pretty cool though.
Oh, yeah.
Some cool shit. I'm gonna have to use that in the future. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. How what else should I look for rival netrunners? Like, what are other ways they might try?
Well, sonars for sure. Other people trying to send you felt it at the war game, send a signal through land into the port that you're jacking into, frying you. That's not as pleasant in real life, because they won't stop. They're just gonna completely get you. But there's things you can put up ice to stop that. So that's something to keep in mind. You got to think defensive and offensively. I'm sure you usually just go pretty offensive when you play. with the net because based on your background, I assume don't have to do a lot of defending. Not a lot of net runners going against you. I mean, in the war for sure, but not anymore, right? You haven't done it in a while, I'm assuming.
Well, kinda.
All right. Well, you just got to think defensive and offensive. They might get nasty with their tricks, but you just got to get nastier. One step ahead, all that stuff.
Nah, never mind. I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, I'm here for questions if you want. For now, we can be done for the day if you feel like it. We don't need to sit in here and run more stuff. We can do a lot more stuff on land. I just wanted you to get your feet wet. Literally.
Everything's wet.
It's all wet. Yep. It's in everything. All right. I'll meet you up top. And he just kind of like swims up to the surface. Gets out of the pool.
You just see me like...
as he's got like a suit underneath his wetsuit, so he's not like stripping in front of you, but he does get out of his wetsuit. And he's just like, what do you think about Team 11, I guess?
I feel like they're probably not fans of random groups of people just being flown in because there's some sort of debt.
I mean, we prefer people volunteer for more personal reasons, I guess. But yeah, if you're here to pay off a debt, I mean, that's how I started. So, but now I'm a teacher. So yeah, I made a living off of it. So yeah, that's fine. Who's your manager? I guess who's Frank? That Frank guy? He's talking with John Neptune all the time.
Rick?
Rick. I don't think I know a Rick on base.
Oh, he's not on base.
Okay.
I'm sure he's good in water, though. He's probably really good in water.
Yeah. And he just kind of like looks at you. He's like, listen, if you ever want to talk or whatever, or ask more questions or whatever, you can always link me if you need them. Otherwise, I'm usually chilling somewhere on base. I like to hang out on the roof a lot if you want some privacy or anything like that. That's a good spot to do it. But yeah, they can't see you up there. You wings, because he's a net runner. He likes privacy, so because he knows that is not something a lot of people can get because he's a net runner.
I'm gonna ask him what he did in the second war.
That's the third corporate war. The net running war was the third corporate war. The second corporate war was between the oil companies, and that's why the oceans are all fucked up.
So I'm gonna ask him what he did in the third war.
Third war, I worked for Militech. They contracted some of our net runners out to do some of the fighting, I guess. I didn't really see terribly much action when I was doing that, but we were kind of cast in late, and most of the fighting was done by that point. This wasn't the net runners in that war were all over the place. Just contracts and just random. It seemed like nobody really knew who anybody was fighting. It seemed so. But yeah, luckily I didn't really get to experience terribly much of it. But the training came in handy when I got picked up for this OTEC job to pay off some of my debt. So here I am.
All right. Well, I'll let you know if I think of anything else. But
yeah, sounds good.
Right now, I'm just gonna be studying.
I'm gonna go have a smoke. I'll talk to you later then. And he just kind of like...
Don't fall off the roof.
I'll try my best. He just kind of goes like this behind his back as he walks away.